City Talks with Reuben Abati.
After his graduation from the university, he was called to the bar in 1999. He commenced his legal career as a litigation counsel in the law firms of Adesina Ogunlana and Co., Basa and Partners, and others. He joined K.O. Tinubu and Co., where he worked under notable legal luminaries as the late K.O. Tinubu, BR Fashola is not late. That's Babatunde Raji Fashola, SN, and he also worked with Rashid Uluwa. After that, he moved forward and established Dele Farotimi and Co. in 2002, now known as DF Legal, and he remained in actual law practice until that time, until he retired in 2018. Some of his practice areas include commercial litigation, alternative dispute resolution, intellectual property, real estate and property law, infrastructure and energy law, oil and gas, public-private partnerships. Dele's legal institution has paid great attention to detail and embraced a practical approach in meeting the needs of our varied clients, whether it is litigation or cross-border transaction support services. His firm has built a strong clientele over the years. Driven by the compelling vision for change, Dele Farotimi, as his usual practice, lent his voice to the campaign for the liberation of the people from the oppressive Nigerian state, oppressive in quotes, in his book, Do Not Die in Their War, and that was published in the year 2019. He is the founder of DF Legal Advocates and Solicitors and acts as a legal advisor to some of the biggest players in the real estate sector, including mortgage institutions and developers in Lagos. Dele Farotimi is our guest. That's his profile. But if you want to be part of this conversation, you can call us on 0700 1051 1051. Or you can leave comments on WhatsApp 090 99164403 and on social media at City1051 on Zoom, Twitter, and Facebook. Okay, we'll take a quick commercial break. When we return, we'll be joining Dele Farotimi, our guest, on today's program.
City Talks with Reuben Abati.
Hello. Welcome back to City Talks with Reuben Abati on City 1051 FM. And our guest, as I said earlier, is Dele Farotimi, advocate and solicitor, activist, citizen, and our special guest on this special occasion where we're looking at hashtag Lekki Occupy Lekki Tollgate protest, hashtag Defend Lagos protest. Dele Farotimi, welcome to the program, and thank you for joining us. You had said that the protest would take place, but this morning the report we have is that about 10 persons have been arrested. Were you there? What is the situation? What can you tell us about this protest by persons who insist that the Lekki Concession Company should not be allowed by the Okuobi panel of inquiry to reopen that particular spot, which was the epicenter of the protest in October 2020?
You've packed a whole lot of questions in one there, so I'll just try and see how I can unpack them one by one. First thing first, like every other Nigerian, I heard of the plan for today's protest. I believe I heard on Tuesday. And whilst I would ordinarily have sought to implore the organizers, for my own reasons, to just tarry a while so that it would not be a reaction but a proper response. They had good reasons, and I heard them. Not only did I hear them, I heard the several threats that were issuing from those who were busy talking about how they're not born somebody papa well. And with the violent rhetorics issuing forth from people who are apparently sponsored by the state, in our own view, it became incumbent to allow those who have sought to express their God-given and constitutional rights to express those rights. And it was then left for the state to decide how it wished to respond, whether it was going to respond in the fascist manner in which it has responded this morning, or whether it was going to respond in a manner that reinforces the fact that we are in a democracy. But unfortunately, let me quickly update you. You don't have 10 detainees. There are not 10 unlawful captives as at this morning. Before I came on here, there were a total of 23 before I came on here. And before I came on here, I have been in contact with other people who are on their way to the toll gate, and they have resolved that the Nigerian police shall be playing host to a whole lot of detainees for this weekend. They can pick up as many people as they care. These are peaceful protesters who are acting within their constitutional rights. And so perfect as that constitution might be, it has given the right to this protest. And their intent, and I support that right, to so protest. Now, the state has also shown clearly that the real terrorists in its views are those who seek to enforce their rights and not those who are overrunning the state all over the country. So it was not a surprise to some of us. We actually told the organizers to expect that they will be spending time with the Nigerian police. The response, or shall I say reaction, is completely predictable. In fact, I must say that they have been more civilized than I expected. I expected that they will be shooting the tear gas that they've displayed a lot of force. And the assumption and expectation was that they will be just as brutal as they were on the 28th. But today, so far, all they have done is kept people in black marias and prepared grounds and beatings for them at Dele police station. When you ask if I was going to go or if I had been, let me quickly answer that question for you. In speaking with the organizers on Tuesday, I told them plainly that I was not going to attend. And I have several reasons for not attending. I have been the president of a student union in Nigeria. I was a student union president at the peak of Abacha's madness in this country. And I said this to you clearly. Ask anyone who was in university with me. I never led a single protest to the street. I do not lead with brawn. I lead with brain. What they would do today was always predictable. But it was important that those who are insistent on exercising their rights should not be curtailed by those of us who know the evil nature of this state, one. And it was also important that those who are sat on the fences all over Nigeria, who still live in the illusion that we are in a democracy, must see very clearly how the Nigerian state responds to those seeking to expand the boundaries of their human rights, and how the same state responds to bandits, armed robbers, killers, terrorists. The Nigerian terrorist is not the violent man with gun. The Nigerian terrorist is the man demanding human rights. It was important that Nigerians should see this, which is why I said that the Nigerian state is the greatest recruitment sergeant for the inevitable Nigerian revolution. It's inevitable because this is not a democracy. We can say this 1,000 times for people and they will not believe us. But what they have illustrated today by their inability to tolerate dissenting views and opinion, and the militarization of the toll gate and the dehumanization of peaceful protesters in broad daylight should tell everybody exactly where we are. Nigeria is not a democracy.
Well, the Commissioner of Police in Lagos, Hakim Odumusu, made it very clear that they have a responsibility to protect law and order. Attorney General of Lagos, Muyo Onigbanjo, SAN, also addressed the press and said, look, the Lagos state government and the Nigerian government will not fold its arms and allow breakdown of law and order. The Minister of Information, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, also spoke along similar lines. Now, but despite all of that, and the fact that the Lagos State Police Command saying, look, no kind of protest will be allowed this morning, we still saw some people going there. Now, Is there a special kind of breast milk that civil society activists drink and they just want to commit suicide? After the fact that we saw in October 2020 that allegedly people
You
were
see,
gunned down. So, I mean, you didn't go
Rosemary,
there. You didn't go there. You were motivating
I
people.
wouldn't, but I'm
But
not going to stop those who speak.
you stayed at home.
No,
You were encouraging other people
let's be
to
clear.
go there.
Let's be clear about something. Let's be very, very clear about something. And quote me on this, and it's very, very good that we're speaking in public so that I might be quoted clearly. I am never stampeded as to my actions. I am deliberate and I pick my time. Nobody stampedes me. Let us be clear. If you elect to be neutral in a fight between an elephant and a mouse, you have already picked sides. That was Desmond Tutu. Point is this. Would I go on the street as these courageous persons have done? I wouldn't. Is that because I am a coward? Perhaps. But I'll say this to you, and you can write it down. My own intention is to lead a protest at that toll gate if and when they do decide that they want to commence their operation. And it shall be scientific. We shall first of all drive our cars all the way to that toll gate, and we shall park our cars there. And they can come and arrest us, but we would have successfully ensured that the operation is grounded to a halt. If that has to happen every day the toll gate is reopened until all of us spend ample time in prison, we will do it. But that toll gate will never come into operation. It does not serve the public. It serves private individuals. It enriches individuals. When the time comes to begin to unmask people, we will unmask people. But be clear about this, that I have confirmed that a person has the right under the Constitution, which you also know that is the truth because you are also a lawyer, does not in any way qualify as an incitement. What it does is confirm the right of the individual. Whether the person elects to exercise that right or not is his prerogative. Whether the state elects to be lawful or lawless is up to the state. But my own position is clear. I am not in any doubt as to the nature of the evil that the Nigerian state and its rulers are. But I am not a reactionary. When the time comes, when sufficient, look, the people who live in Lekki do not pay any toll in that place happily. Everybody living in Lekki pays that toll as a ransom. It is a ransom. We had been paying it not because we were happy. We were paying it. No matter how rich they think people in Lekki are, the generality of the people living in Lekki are exceedingly unhappy about that toll gate. But today's protest was not done mobilizing the residents of Lekki to be part of this. This was in response, as we had already said, or shall I say reaction to the Okuobi panel's decision. As I have said variously, those of us who live in that place, who also understand the nature of the evil we are dealing with, we've already resolved that we have our intention to protest any reopening of that toll gate. We enjoy the way we are able to drive without the grinding traffic, the maddening hold up that we suffer every day. It is not by accident that Jack Onde just passed away a couple of days ago. May God rest his soul. He built that road over 30 years ago. He never told it. These people came 21 years ago. How many roads have they built? The only road that was in existence in this place was hijacked, and every time an attempt has been made to protest there, it has always been met with brutal force.
Okay,
Now,
Dele,
I'm sorry, please. I just want to round this up. The last time was on the 20th of October. Today's own is just further proof of exactly what sort of tactics are always employed at that toll gate. That toll gate is a metaphor. Is a metaphor for a demand for citizenship, and we will resist its reopening.
Well, Dele Farotimi, you are a major stakeholder in this matter. All our listeners can see that. But what is the way forward? Those of you,
The way forward is simple.
privileged people like you, living in the Lekki axis, you don't want to pay toll.
It's not about money.
No, it's about money. It's about money. Because you brought up the issue about, look, they can't be asking people.
We'll get there, no problem.
They can't be asking people to pay tolls. But look, ordinary Nigerians like us who live in Ajangbadi, Alakuko, and Okuko Maiko, Abule Agege, Alakuko, Elekuo, Eleron, whatever. We just want peace in Lagos. Now, those of you living in that Lekki axis and people who are involved in the stakeholder engagement, what is the solution? What will you say to the Lagos state government and the federal government of Nigeria as the solution for going forward?
Number one, you have committed a very huge fallacy, and I have a duty on behalf of everybody living in the Lekki axis to pull you up and correct that illusion. Number one, Lekki is not a place for the rich. The presumption of Lekki being a rich man's neighborhood arises from the illusion of the Lekki phase 1. Has any one of those who assume that Lekki is for the rich, have they gone through places like Alpha Beach, where there are no roads, where there is no electricity? Do they know places like Bara? Are they familiar with Dakonde? Do they know Oluborogan? Are they familiar with places within Lekki without electricity, without road? Outside Lekki phase 1, there is no place in the entire Lekki Peninsula where there is 1 square inch of pipe-borne water. Not one, except it was by private effort. How many schools have been built in 21 years in the entire Lekki Peninsula? How many? Even the children of Megads are forced to go to private schools. Now, when people make this assumption about Lekki being the refuge of the rich, a lot of people are unjustly lumped together with a select few and selected for punishment as though living in Lekki or anywhere named Lekki. Lekki is a huge place. It starts from Lekki phase 1, it goes all the way to Lekki in Ekpe. If you see the Lekki some people come out of in Aoyaya, in Chombotedo, all those are Lekki as well.
You, Dele Farotimi, I'm with you. Hello, can you still hear us? Hello, Dele Farotimi. Well, in a matter of seconds, we'll have on this program Gbenga Omotosho, the managing director, the Commissioner of Information and spokesperson for the Lagos State government. He will respond to some of the issues going on and the situation right now at the Lekki toll gate and the Lekki, the Koyito Bridge in Lagos here, and where the Lagos State government fits into this matter. We'll talk to Gbenga Omotosho along with Dele Farotimi. But right now, let us take the commercial break, and then we'll return. The two of them will be here, and the program will continue.
City Talks with Reuben Abati.
He is also a big player in the real estate sector, mortgage institutions, and developers in Lagos. If you want to be part of the conversation, you can call us on 0700 1051 1051, or you can leave comments on WhatsApp 09099164403, and on social media at City 1051, Zoom, Twitter, and Facebook. We're going to open up this conversation shortly. Dele Farotimi, thank you very much for staying with us. You've been talking about the situation.
I'm happy you are bringing this topic, and coincidentally, a time with the passage of the great Latin Jaconde, who was the chief conceiver of that road about 40 something or almost 39 years ago. Now, I want to ask, I know Mr. Omotosho is listening. I listened to him on BBC and other foreign media where he struggled to defend the Lagos government. Even though Mr. Abati came up on air at different occasions to give different accounts, which of course did not paint him in a good light as a good governor. And I want to tell him, what will be his legacy? If at the end of the day, a governor who is elected by the people is coming up with very controversial statements, which of course has brought his reputation to a big question. And again, if people cannot protest in a democracy, constitutional democracy, we saw the efforts of the president who stopped and frustrated collective democratic joy of people given by serious governor like Jaconde in 1984, who is now coming up as a president in a democracy again. You know, with all these dictatorial tendencies. Are we in a democracy at all? Why should we prioritize blood money over the, and freedom of people in a democracy?
Okay, well, we got that point there, but Dele Farotimi, are you back with us, or do we have Honorable Commissioner of Information, Benga Omotosho, with us? Okay.
I'm here, but I don't know whether you can hear me.
Okay, Commissioner of Information, Lagos State, we can hear you. Benga Omotosho is right now on the program. Now, Honorable Commissioner for Information, Lagos State, I'm sure you listened to parts of the intervention by Dele Farotimi. Now, what exactly is happening at the toll gate in Lagos, Lekki toll gate, as it is called? And where does the Lagos State government stand in this matter? Lagos State government having set up the Ukuobi panel that generated all this furore, kafoko, whatever, this crisis, as we may call it.
Well, thank you so much, and good afternoon, listeners. First, I've not been to the Lekki toll gate, but I understand it's calm and that police have made a few arrests. But the stand of the Lagos State government is to appeal that there should be peace, because now, more than ever, Lagos needs peace. The kind of thing that had happened in October last year, nobody prays that we should have a repeat of that kind of discussion, that kind of a carnage that we saw, carnage beyond belief, carnage beyond any Lagosian's comprehension, beyond any Lagosian's imagination. All of the iconic buildings that people grew up to know were touched. And this is a very serious matter for Lagos and its future. And besides that, the camaraderie, conviviality, friendship, and unity that we share as Lagosians, it's as if a group is bent on destroying that. And that is what the government is concerned about. Two groups are ranged against each other. One is saying that it's going to continue EndSARS protests. Another is saying it's going to defend Lagos because of the kind of carnage we saw last October. And the government has stepped in to say, no, don't let us have a protest at this time. If the two forces that are ranged against each other, if they are allowed to clash, there will be bloodshed. And all of the things that we are trying to protect, all of the things that we are trying to promote, they will come to naught. So Lagos State government is saying that there should be peace. Everything that you need to settle, let the panel settle it. The panel is there for everybody to go and approach for any redress of any mistake that any person may feel. And if the panel has made a pronouncement concerning LCC and the toll gate, it's not the end of the matter. It's not the end of the matter. Besides, LCC is not going back to the toll gate and begin to collect toll tomorrow. It's going to take them, from my own point of view as a layman, I'm not an architect, I'm not a builder. It's going to take them months to be able to set up that toll gate again. And if people are saying that they don't want to pay toll and all that, and that is why they are doing this, I do not think, in my own view, that is right. All over the world, tolls are collected on roads. And if you want to invite the private sector to build the infrastructure for the state, so that because the state cannot fund everything on its own, and then this kind of thing is happening, they will not come. We still have the Fourth Mainland Bridge to build. We still have so many things to build. And we will need the help of the private sector. And in my own case, in my own view, two wrongs don't make a right.
Well, Honorable
So
Commissioner.
Yes.
Honorable Commissioner, it's good you brought up the issue about tolls, the payment of tolls. I mean, even at the initial stage, when the Lagos State government said tolls will be paid at the Lekki toll gate and at the Ikoyi Link Bridge toll gate, many Nigerians objected. Now, in October 2020, one issue that came up is that, look, the people of Lagos, they want to know who is behind the Lekki Concession Company. They want to know what the contract is all about. They want to know what the sharing agreement is all about. And they say they don't want to pay any tolls. Are these pieces of information that you can help us with? Who exactly is behind the Lekki Concession Company? And should we, the people of Lagos, well, it doesn't concern people like us living in the peaceful part of Lagos, but the people living in the privileged part, why should they insist that they don't want to pay toll gates?
Well, if people are saying that they don't want to pay toll, I have not seen anybody who is law abiding who has said he or she does not want to pay for any service that is rendered. Government is not a Father Christmas, and government is it includes all of us. You and I and everybody who is a Lagosian, we all are part of the government. And if you have a road like that that has been built through private government partnership, there is no way you will not have a toll on it. People are trying now to build the Fourth Mainland Bridge. At the end of the day, it may be tolled because private sector money is coming into it. Government cannot raise that money from its finances to go and build such a road. And as for people who own SEC, I think it's an open book. If you want to know the owners of any company, you go to the CAC. And CAC is online. You can Google it. So I do not know why there should be so much cry about that. And why are people saying that LCC should not go back to the toll gate? The panel has not told LCC to go there and begin to collect toll again. What the panels have simply said is that LCC can go and repossess the place and maybe assess the place. LCC, the panel set up forensic experts to go and look at the place. The experts have come and they have tendered their report. And after their report, the panel does not see why that LCC should not be allowed to go and look at it. It's their property.
Gbenga Motosho, Commissioner for Information, Lagos State. Yes, you yourself reported on this program that persons were arrested this morning at the Lekki toll gate. Can you give us concrete guarantee that we, the people of Lagos, or rather the people of Lagos, when they wake up tomorrow morning, they will not come up with stories that Akim Odumusu's team, RRS, Lagos State Command, that they used live bullets, or that some people were killed, or some bodies were, taken away, and you won't have a difficult job tomorrow morning to start saying it is not true. Are you in a position to guarantee us that nobody was brutalized, that the police, as Moyo Unigbanjo SAN, Attorney General of Lagos and Commissioner of Justice requested for, that the police must do professional work? Can we, at this moment, hours after the commencement, as they publicize of the Occupy Lagos protest, did not do anything that will affect anybody? Can you speak on behalf of the Lagos State government and say whatever happened at the Lekki toll gate today happened peacefully and that nobody has been injured, Nobody has been brutalized, and their parents in Lagos State, elsewhere, do not have any cause to worry.
Well, from reports that I have got, first, not many people, there was no crowd at the Lekki toll gate. And the few guys who went there to say they wanted to protest, I was told that the police arrested them. And that in arresting them, nobody was brutalized. So if people go and make up stories of being brutalized, or being harassed, or being pushed up and down, well, that is for them. But as far as the government is concerned, we haven't got any report of anybody being brutalized. Because we have always said it, Lagos State government stands for peace. And it is peace that we want. That is why we are saying whether it is defend Lagos or or NSAS protests that neither should happen now. Because if we allow the two groups to clash, eventually they will become it will become a problem. It will be bloody. And Lagos State government does not want that kind of thing now. The unity that we have, the love that we have, we want it to be strong. We don't want anybody to bring us back memories of those dark days of October last year, when policemen were killed, when ordinary Lagosians were killed, when all manner of criminals now took advantage of what began as a peaceful protest to begin to unleash violence on this state, and they brought war to Lagos. Nobody wants that kind of a repeat again of that carnage that was beyond human comprehension. People who suffered in the crisis of October, they are yet to recover. I have seen businessmen who are up to today, they are crying that they don't know how to pick the pieces again. Even the Lekki concession company that we are talking about, the workers have not been paid since last year, and they have over 500 workers. They have loans to repay. So I do not know why people are crying that where they are going to relaunch NSAS protest, because Lekki concession company has been asked to go and look at the toll gate, see what they can salvage of their property.
Well, thank you.
There's an analogy that I usually refer to. It's like you have a landlord. There's a fight in his house, and the police are called in, and the police come in and shut down the house. And then they invited forensic experts to go and look at the house. That were cudgels used, were cutlasses used, were knives used. And then the experts report back to the police. And the police are saying, now we have facts and figures of what happened in your house. Mr. Landlord, go there and see what you can do about it. Maybe you have to talk to your insurers. You have to bring back your gardeners. You have to bring back your chefs. You have to bring back your guards. All of the people who used to earn a living from your house, see what you can do about them. They too, they have rights. Lekki Concession Company is a Nigerian company, and it has rights too. The workers, they have rights. And Lekki Concession Company, the toll gate is not even being treated as a sin of crime. If it's a sin of crime, people will not be able to pass through. They will just shut down the road and say that we are investigating. So people are saying LCC should not return there. Do they want the road shut down forever and ever? The government has not shut down the road. They are saying reopening of Lekki toll gate. The toll gate has never been shut down. Never. And it's going to take several months to put up that kind of infrastructure again. So I do not see why people should just use the what the panel has said to spark another round of protests that may spark another round of violence. We need to move on.
Okay, thank you very much.
We are in a recession. This is not the time for us to be thinking of such things.
Thank you very much, Honorable Gbenga Omotosho, Commissioner for Information, Lagos State. Well, at this point, Dele Farotimi, lawyer and activist, he's been there in the background. I saw him on the screen shaking his head. I guess he has a lot to say to respond to some of the points you have raised. Dele Farotimi, over to you. You listen to the Commissioner of Information, Lagos State, reporting the real-life situation. I don't need to summarize him, but you go ahead. What are those issues he raised that you would like to talk about?
And the gentleman raised a whole lot of issues, and Whoa. Me, I don't know how somebody is going to unbundle all of this, but let me start.
Why are you pushing your hair forward? Anyway.
Let me start with the easiest of all the bundles that he has piled down just now. The first is peace. The first condition of peace is justice. When there is no justice, it's almost impossible to ask peace of any man when you have not given him justice. Now, who has breached the peace? The protesters have never breached the peace. They have been the ones who have been visited with violence every time, including today. If we're talking about a repeat of what happened on the 22nd, on the 20th of, okay. Now, who destroyed Lagos State in October? It wasn't the NSAS protesters. They never once, not once, employed violence. But we saw the state, and I'm not just talking about Lagos State. I'm talking about the Nigerian state, our rulers, the security agencies, Lagos State itself. We saw several state agencies at several levels encourage violence. I am a member of Amimba. We wrote a petition to the commissioner in Lagos State, positively identifying one of the persons who attacked protesters at Alausa. Nothing has been done about it. We gave the name. We gave a picture. You would have seen the famous picture with the man with the red cutlass. Nobody ever touched him. So when we're talking about violence, let us be clear that the violence was never instigated by any NSAS protester. If anything, violence was instigated by the state. And when it spiraled out of control was after they had killed people at Lekki. Now, who destroyed the state? It was a deliberate decision of the police to withdraw from the street after the carnage at Lekki. And it is not even impossible that there are state complicities in some of the arson that took place. I can't prove it, but they can certainly not say that it was any NSAS protesters that did that, because there was never a single point where any NSAS protester employed violence. Now, the gentleman spoke about polling, and now it is a universal phenomenon. And then he went on to say how government is not Father Christmas. How dare he say that? How dare he? There is only one road in and out of Lekki. One road, the Lekki-Epe Expressway. It was constructed during the Jakonde era. I came to Lasso in 1985. I drove on that road in 1985. When that road was expropriated, they've added one lane. That road is already pockmarked with potholes. Already as we speak today, pockmarked with potholes. And it's been told since that time. And the story of the tolling company, the concession itself is so opaque. Just like the entire finances and affairs of the state itself is completely opaque. And the gentleman is obliquely telling us to go to the CAC. What about, how many things are we going to go and check at the CAC? Let me explain something, sir. It is a privilege for you to serve the people if we are truly in a democracy. It is not for you to lecture us about how it is we are not Father Christmas. How many schools has your hegemony built in the entire Lekki axis in 21 years? How many hospitals have been built here? The most impoverished people in Lagos are to be found in the Lekki Peninsula. Come there. Come to Bogije. Come to Shogotedo. Only one road. They spend hours on that road, sometimes as many as 5 hours in a day to get into VI. There is no hospital. People die in that traffic, unable to get to hospital because of the sick traffic. And the toll gate you inflicted or not makes it even worse. And for you to now speak blithely about how government is not Father Christmas. Okay, Mr. Father, who is not Father Christmas, exactly what have you provided for your children? Have you given us water? Do we exactly have good roads in any other part of Lekki? If you get off Lekki Expressway, how many roads have you built? How many
Dele
hospitals in
Farotimi,
21 years?
Dele Farotimi,
I'm sorry, please. I need to deal with the issue of peacefully. How do you peacefully breach people's rights by arresting them for daring to want to protest peacefully? How do you peacefully breach their rights? I can tell you before I came online, we have started deploying lawyers around. And I can tell you authoritatively that at Adeniji at Dele police station, people are already being brutalized by policemen. And you say that nothing is happening.
It's okay. On Dele Farotimi, on the legal issues, I'm sure Moyo Unibanjo SAN is up to the task. You can't intimidate another lawyer with saying you have deployed lawyers.
It's not about intimidation.
They will all meet.
People are already being brutalized.
They will all meet in the Temple of Justice and argue the case. But the one that I think concerns Honorable Gbenga Motosho is you saying, well, you should tell you what the Lagos State government has been able to do. Apparently, as it seems, we will need to extend this program today. And Gbenga Motosho is here. He is spokesman of the Lagos State government. So you have asked him what has Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu done for the Lagos State people in over 600 days. Gbenga Motosho, Honorable Commissioner of Information, over to you. I think you need to respond to that challenge because Farotimi doesn't seem impressed that the governor has done anything. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Right. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Well, let me just first tell Mr. Farotimi that using the phrase that government is not a Father Christmas is not supposed to be abusive. I will never be abusive of anybody at all. And that everybody has a right to protest. The people who are saying they want to protest for NSAS and those who are saying they want to defend Lagos. So the government, in its wisdom, feels that if these two groups are allowed to clash, that it will be bloody. That's why the government said there should be no protest. And that's why the government said, all we want is peace. And he has said that there cannot be peace without justice. And we have said, and I am saying that in this particular instance, there is no injustice. Because the panel is still sitting, it has no reason. The panel has not exonerated anybody. Neither has it indicted anybody or condemned anybody. The panel is still sitting. But we cannot say that because the panel is still sitting, we cannot begin to pick up the pieces of our lives again. So nobody is trying to rubbish people who are saying they want to protest. And talking about brutality, I do not know. But from the facts that I got from the police, I made the inquiries myself. I've been told that nobody has been brutalized. If people have been brutalized, that would not be right. The police should not do that. Anybody who is violent is the one who should be visited with violence. And then talking about what the Babajide Sanwo-Olu administration has done along that axis, I think it's a lot. Recently, we flagged off that road that he's talking about. The road is about 40 years old. We flagged off the rebuilding of that road to a 6-lane dual carriageway now from Lekki to Epe. And on that corridor too, we have already started building the regional road. And talking about health facilities, in the first 100 days of the Babajide Sanwo-Olu administration, a mother and child hospital was commissioned in that area. And so many other things. A school was also commissioned in that area in the very first 100 days of Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu. So for anybody to say that nothing has been done in that area, that is not correct at all. I mean, there's massive repair on the road now as we speak, even as it is being rebuilt.
Okay, Omotosho is at the point well made. But quickly now, we would like to take a few reactions from the public. Who is first on the line?
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, Dr. Reuben, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And good afternoon to your guest.
We have Dele Farotimi, Esquire. Well, one day he will be SAN. And we have the Commissioner for Information of Lagos State, Honorable Benga Omotosho.
My greetings to them all. Now, Lekki Toge, when Ambode was leaving office, he told the Lagosians that the money for that place had been fully paid. That was one of the handover notes, that Lekki Toge has been fully paid by the government. And it is on record that when that place was concessioned, $24 million was given to the concessionaire. And we are asking, how? How come? All this money that are being wasted left, right, and is it not the tax of Lagos people? Remember that when the Ikoyi Link Bridge was built by Fashola, the Lagos State House of Assembly budgeted 17 billion for that bridge. When Fashola completed it, it ended up with 27 billion naira. And when the Lagos State House of Assembly asked him, how come the 10 billion? He said it was variation. They said variation, you didn't come to us. You didn't come to us before you start spending that money. Again, Dr. Reuben, as I speak to you now, the Speaker of Lagos State Assembly is under investigation by EFCC because of the humongous amount of money they saw in his 3 accounts. Where did all this money come from? That is my question. Because he is telling us that Lagos State is not for the Christmas. As I speak to you, the IDR of Lagos State is equal to IDR of 26 states in Nigeria. 26 states. So where is the money going to? That is my question. With all that money they are making, I don't think any street is supposed to be untied in Lagos. I don't think any street is supposed to be without pipe and water.
Okay, thank you very much. It looks like your questions are directed to Honorable Benga Omotosho. Honorable Commissioner for Information, your comments.
Yeah. Please, what exactly are the questions? I didn't get to hear him very well.
Well, he was talking generally about the performance of the Lagos State government. So it gives you an opportunity to talk again and how your administration has been able to follow up on what was done previously.
Yeah, I think he was even talking about the IGR of Lagos State that is equal to the IGR of many states put together.
Okay, so you had him.
Many states in Nigeria don't have the kind of... many states in Nigeria don't carry the kind of a load that Lagos carries. Lagos is the gateway to Nigeria. Anybody who's coming into Nigeria either for business or for leisure, they fly into Lagos. The kind of... Lagos is the tiniest state in Nigeria, yet it holds the highest number of people. So you have traffic problems, you have housing problems, you have health problems, medical, anything that you can talk about, infrastructure, and that is why Lagos State government is committing money to all of these things. There are things that only nationals can do, but Lagos State is doing as a sub-national. Take, for example, the rail. How many states can say they want to build a rail project? And Lagos is committing money into the red line and the blue line at the same time, so that life can get better for us. Look at the ferry service that has been improved with about 14 ferries added recently. And look at all the major roads that Lagos State is building. We have just commissioned housing projects in Badagry, in Igando, in Surulere, in Lekki. So we are building all of these things because we are making the money, and we are telling Lagosians that it is your money that is at work. So for anybody to just come up and say Lagos has a very big IGR, so are Lagos problems. Over 22 million people. To accommodate them, to make them have good roads, to make them have good medical facilities, you need a lot of money. And the medical facilities are even overstretched as people come in from neighboring countries and from neighboring states. So the problems of Lagos are very big for its broad shoulders to shoulder.
Okay, Honorable Commissioner, let's go back to Dele Farotimi. Now, we had our caller talking about the performance of the government of Lagos State. Do you agree with the Commissioner of Information that the government has done very well, actually? In housing,
there
in...
is
okay, please go ahead.
the failure of the political opposition to do its job, the political syncretism that has meant that there is only one political class and no ideological divisions amongst them, has meant that none of the opposition parties have bothered to take on the Lagos State government and the ruling hegemony in the state in the last 21 years. I am not a politician, and I don't want to take on that job because it will then become a I don't want to be drawn into politics, but what I would say as a citizen of Lagos State is this. The gap between expectation and delivery is enough to drive a battle tank. That's one. The second thing is that the totality of the governing philosophy in the state is not about service delivery. And if anybody had ever had any problem understanding that, the fact that we are eulogizing a man who left office 30 what years now? 1983. He left office in 1983. We are eulogizing a man almost 40 years after he left office, having served for 4 years. And we're still pointing at what he did. He will tell you that in 21 years, you can judge what was achieved in 4 years, what has been achieved in 21 years. But like I said, I am not a politician. It is up to the political class to begin to trade all these lies that they all trade among themselves about how they have built bridges across the oceans and how they have built hospitals in the air. But what I would say as a resident is that the only time I feel the presence of the Lagos State government is when it brings pain. So please, that story about how well they are doing, they can tell it to the vets. Nothing. Lagos might be working. It's not for us, the residents or the citizens. It's not working.
We have already extended the program, but before then, let's take a quick commercial break. And then after that, the program will continue. Stay with us, Dele Farotimi. Stay with us, Honorable Commissioner of Information, Lagos State.
Hello, this is a public service announcement to our dear customers that don't have NIN or are yet to link their NIN to their MTN lines. As mandated by the NCC, MTN will be linking your National Identification Number (NIN) to the same registration information you have already provided to make the process easy for you. Here are 2 simple ways to get it done. Log on to my MTN app or dial *785*NIN#. If you don't have a NIN, visit www.nimc.gov.ng to find an enrollment center near you. If you have registered but can't remember your NIN, dial *346# with the phone number you registered at enrollment. Please remember, apart from your primary line, you must also link your NIN to all your MTN lines and data SIMs such as MiFi, HiNetFlex, and any other line you use on the MTN network. This announcement is very important. To avoid disconnection, all lines must be linked before 6th April 2021.
Listen live on www.
City Talks with Reuben Abati on City 105.1 FM.
Please note, the views and opinions expressed in the course of this program do not represent that of City 105.1 FM. The station, therefore, is not liable to any legal action that may result from the program.
Welcome back to City 105.1 FM, and you've been listening to City Talks with Reuben Abati on this station, where we've been talking to Dele Farotimi, lawyer, activist, and also the Honorable Commissioner of Information, Lagos State, veteran journalist, Benga or Motoshaw on the issues of, well, the combined issues, if you like, of hashtag Occupy Lekki Toll Gate and hashtag Defend Lagos. But right now, City 101 FM, our station, has a gentleman called Charles Flames on the ground, and he's been monitoring the situation, and he wants to report into the studio right now. Charles Flames, what's the situation at the Lekki Toll Gate? What have you observed, please?
Yeah. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay. Currently, everywhere is calm. The toll gate is open for motorists to pass through, but there are fully armed mobile police officers at the and the rapid response squad on ground with several operational vehicles, ambulances, and black murder trucks, including towing vehicles. The rapid response squad men are making sure that traffic flow within the toll gate axis, both inward and outward, are easy for passing of motorists, but not quite long. Let's say less than 20 minutes. The State Commissioner of Police, Hakim Odumosu, arrived at the Lekki toll gate, and he's yet to address the press, although he said he wants to visit the Koi Link Bridge before coming back to the toll gate here to address the press on the situation of things at the moment. But I want to quickly say this. The policemen at the toll gate are manhandling peaceful protesters who were chanting, "We want justice, we want justice." In fact, immediately those guys came around, they didn't even allow them to say anything. They rounded them up and then arrested every one of them, and they are now, they've now been taken to the Black Maria. So that is exactly what is happening right now, but everywhere is calm, everywhere is peaceful. Earlier, even some protesters who came in the morning, that was around 7 a.m., 8 a.m., they went immediately they got to the toll gate. The police officers didn't allow them to say anything. They made sure that they got all of them arrested, and they've now been taken to the Black Maria. In fact, I can't say that this is where they're taking them to, actually, but we can't find any of them in any of the Black Marias here. So it means that they have a place that they're taking them to. Even the cars they brought, all the cars have been towed. They've been taken to the LASMA office, maybe the one the one on the island or wherever, I don't know. So, but right now, everywhere is peaceful. There's no protest on ground. There are lots of journalists here. There are lots of police officers, the rapid response team, the mobile police officers. And in fact, I even got the information that a comedian, Mr. Macaroni, was arrested in the morning, and he has also been taken to one of their offices. So that is the situation of things right now. But once Commissioner of Police gets back to this place, I will also give you an update on whatever he says.
Which is a very good report out there. And I'm sure a lot of people in Lagos and across Nigeria will be excited by the fact that the locus, as the location, is quite peaceful at this time, and that there's not been any outbreak of mayhem. The Commissioner of Information, Lagos State, Benga Motoshaw, is with us on this program. And before you gave us that live report, he also confirmed that certain persons were arrested in the morning. But if you were to put a figure to the number of persons who have been arrested so far in the morning, the figure that was confirmed by the Commissioner of Information, and right now, what would that figure be? And then give us an idea of the conduct, the behavior of the policemen at the side, because I thought I heard you saying some people were manhandled. They shouldn't be manhandled, particularly with the Commissioner of Police, Hakim Odumosu, leading the operation.
For the conduct of the police, they are actually taking their time to make sure that there is no issue anywhere. They are making sure that everywhere is peaceful. But once they notice that so group of people are here to protest, they will allow them to say out their mind before they will get arrested. That's exactly what the policemen are doing right here. Their conduct has been very peaceful so far. They've not been harassing anybody. Except the fact that that was in the morning. They harassed a lot of journalists who came around for the report. They make sure that each journalist identifies their media houses before they can allow them to come around the toll gate and then do a report. But their conduct so far has been good. They've been cooperating with the journalists. Although they were saying that they wanted to send away every journalist right here. But it was later when we had a conversation with them. That is the RRS commander. He now said, okay, that he will give us a space so that we can do our report. But aside that we can't have any other access to anywhere because the toll gate, they want the toll gate to be very free for motorists to pass through. So they don't want any hitches anywhere. So their conduct has been good so far. And then for the amount of people that have been arrested so far since morning to now, I will put that at less than 20 because right before me here, the police officers arrested 7 of them, 7 peaceful protesters. So that is the amount I saw myself with my eyes. But in the morning, the amount of people I saw, because those protesters, they came here as early as 6 a.m. They were here at the target as early as 6 a.m. So most of them, when they were here, the police officers who were here with them, there was no issue at all. But immediately they started chanting, we want peace, we want justice, this, that. That was when the police now took it upon themselves and they started arresting them.
Thank you very much, Charles Flames, for that live situation report from Lekki Tollgate. But I would like to ask you, have you had the opportunity to interact with some of the protesters that came around, or perhaps members of the Defend Lagos group, which is the counter-protest group? And what are they saying? What are the young people saying? What is the big issue that they say they are defending at that spot? Quickly.
The major issue that these protesters are trying to defend is they are requesting for justice. They are requesting for justice to be served, especially among the police officers, for what they have been doing so far, for all the mayhem they have been causing so far. That is what they are fighting for. That's exactly what they are fighting for.
Thank you very much, Charles Frames. Thank you very much, Charles Frames. City FM correspondent on the ground out there giving us a report. Let me come to you quickly. Benga Motosho, Honorable Commissioner of Information, Lagos. Do you feel vindicated that the police seem to be in charge? And then the point made by our correspondent Charles Flames, saying that the big concern of the protesters on ground is that they will get justice. Can you assure the people of Lagos that Justice Okuwobi's panel will be able to do justice? Particularly now that one of the members of that panel, Reno, has already decided to step down and walk out on that group. So you no longer have a 9-man...
Justice Okuwobi panel will be able to...
Hello? You said something?
Are you hearing me?
Yes, okay, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can, Honorable Commissioner, yes. Hello? Honorable Commissioner of Lagos, I was just saying that Reno Oduala, one of the 9-member...
Yeah, there is no reason to believe that Justice Okuwobi... Justice is not considered before being served. You will realize the fact that ever before the federal government even spoke about a panel, the Lagos State government was the very first to set up a panel. And this is because the governor, Mr. Abati, believes that there are...
Hello, Motosho.
Must be a closure to this matter. Aim of setting up the panel is social justice. And for people to not believe that the SCC that has been asked to return to the toll gate does not mean that SCC should begin to operate here and now. Any wound that has been made is going to be healed. And part of the healing process is what the panel is doing. So I believe it's going to serve justice. The panel is made up of people of integrity. If you look at the CVs of all members of the panel, you know that it's a panel that will do justice because it has its name to protect.
Well, Dele Farotimi, I'm sure you are still out there. Your comments? We had a live report from Lekki Tollgate. Yes.
I had, immediately the Honorable Commissioner spoke of the peaceful arrests and how maybe they were even going to be served tea and a 7-course meal by the very nice police. I was already pointing out the fact that there is nothing like peaceful arrests of a person who is moving or acting pursuant to his legal rights. And the Nigerian police, with its usual venal brutality, has proven to be very predictable. I said it before this. I told you, I have reports that people at Adeniji Dele were being beaten and brutalized, tortured. I said so before your correspondent, who is on the site itself, that's at the toll gate, came online to talk about how peaceful protesters are being hauled into Black Maria and brutalized. Now, imagine this. If they would do this in full glare of those who are at the toll gate, all the journalists there, imagine what they are doing within their own police stations. Now, the Honorable Commissioner has spoken of how justice will be found at the Doris Okwobi panel. I hope so. We actually believed that would be the case. That was why we encouraged the protesters to seek justice there, and we have offered them representation there. But given the fact that the Nigerian Army, a principal party in the issues in which we are seeking the truth and justice, has already shown how contemptuous it is of the panel's jurisdiction, and the fact that the LCC, another principal co-accused, has his operation more or less restored to it by the same panel. The only people who have found no justice before Justice Okwobi's panel have been the people who died that day. We don't know how many. The people who were injured that day, I have seen at least 20. I know them personally. I paid for some people's treatment. So I know them. They are not files. They are not fictions. I know at least 20. I know amputees. I know people carrying bullets in their bodies. They have found no justice before Justice Okwobi. So when we are speaking about justice, let us understand that it cannot be subjective. And there has been no justice for what happened that day. And in the absence of justice, any peace we might have is merely ephemeral. It will eventually evaporate, because in the absence of justice, there really can't be any peace.
That point is quite clear. I see a lot of people still trying to join the conversation, but we'll have to go in less than 2 minutes. But maybe we'll take one more caller, and then quickly, whoever is responding to that will have to be very quick, very fast.
Hello.
Yes, thank you for joining us. Yes.
Yeah, I think my question goes to our commissioner.
Okay, he's listening. Benga Omotosho, Commissioner for Information.
Quickly, I want to say the legacy of Latif Jakonde, it was buried, I think, yesterday or so. I'm sure, look at what he did in Lagos State. I've not seen any governors, by my own opinion, I've not seen any governors that have done that. If they actually follow the legacy of Latif Jakonde, Lagos State will not be where it is today. So I want to appeal to them that they should go back and look at the drawing board and follow the same thing that Jakonde has done. God bless Lagos State and God bless Nigeria in Jesus' name.
Okay, Commissioner Omotosho, you heard him. Your comments, your response.
I didn't hear him, please.
No, he was saying that Chief Latif Jakonde, former governor of Lagos State, was buried yesterday, and everybody has been talking about the wonderful achievements of his administration, his legacy, his legend in various ways. And he says future governments of Lagos, even the incumbent governor of Lagos, they need to go back and look at the man's record and try to see how they can reproduce what Lateef Jakonde, LKJ, as he was popularly known, did for the people of Lagos State.
Very nice point indeed. And let me just use this opportunity to commiserate with the Gaussians on the passing on of the great LKJ. Many people don't realize that the man was a journalist. His writing name was, pen name was is John West. And it has gone a long way to show that journalists, in whichever position you put them, they will do well. And he was a man that we were in constant touch with when he was alive, especially when he was still very active. I remember when we were going to open the Igando housing estate, we named it after him, and he was there physically to witness it, and he was very happy that the foundation that he laid, that we are building on it. So it is a very well noted point, and I assure that scholar that the Babajide Sanwo-Olu administration is learning from, is taking a cue from all of the good things that previous administrations did, and that we recognize the feats that Alhaji Jakonde achieved, and it is our prayer that such feats will never go out of this place, and that we will be, by God's grace, be able to surpass them. Thank you.
Well, at this point, I would like to thank Dele Farotimi, who took time out to join us on this program, discuss many issues. I mean, he's a very capable man. He could have talked about other issues, Nigeria, intercontinental, whatever. He's a man who is always prepared. But we limited him to a specific topic today, and I just want to say thank you, Dele Farotimi, for being with us. And I would also like to thank the Honorable Commissioner of Information, Lagos State. I called him just on my way to the studio to say, well, you have something to say. And he said, well, you know, if it is for the public, for the common good, whatever it is that I'm doing, I will suspend it and join you. And actually, he was at a program, but he agreed. He said, well, I have one or two things to say, and he joined us. Both gentlemen, we want to thank you very much for your humility and for joining us. But as for all our listeners, we also thank you. But remember, the conversation does not end here. You can reach out to me on my social media account at Abati1990 on Instagram and Twitter. And at City1051, you can reach us on all the social media platforms. For those of you who tuned in late, don't worry. You can visit our YouTube page, City1051, to watch the entire show shortly. And don't forget, I'm reminded, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to tune in next week at noon for another exciting edition of City Talks. My name is Reuben Abati.